shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowded line. Break down, take down, you busted. Shake down, break down, honey, just about the time you think that it's alright. Break down, take down, you busted.
Christian Car Guy Radio Show.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud.
What you talking about, Willis?
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 Maintenance lies today on the Christian Car Guy Show. Bob, let me hear your best. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
You need to change the air in your tires, Bob. Here you go. Try it again.
What you talking about, Willis?
So we're talking about, when you go to the Firestone or you go to the Jiffy Lube or wherever you go to get your car serviced, and all of a sudden they come up with this very interesting list of things that they say your car needs. Actually, we have Bill Mixon in the studio with us today.
Good morning.
Kind of a guest appearance, but you had this very thing happen, right?
Yeah, I took my car in to get the oil changed. I went to a convenient place instead of the place I really, really, really trust. And lo and behold, when I come back to pick it up, they had a long list of things they thought that I should do immediately.
Yeah, and
changing the air in the tires is one that I'm not familiar with. Did it get stale or?
Gets a lot of water in it, I'm told. I've heard it. I've actually heard it. So, you may have had this happen, and so on the Christian Car Guy Show today, we're trying to get at the truth, right? I work for the Truth Network, and truth is very important on all sorts of levels. So I have compiled some maintenance statements for you, our audience, to guess at. Is this statement true or false? And because we've been doing this promotion with Red Roof Inns, we have one more VIP voucher, which is good at over 500 Red Roof Inns all over America. You just go in and you hand them this voucher. You don't even have to have a reservation, Bob.
I'll take it.
You'll take it. And all you have to do, everybody that calls in with an answer to one of my posers today, you get a shot at it. So get ready to call us at 866-348-7884, 866-34-TRUTH if you're digitally gifted. And since these are all true or false, we're guessing you might appear that you would have a 50-50 chance here, Bob.
What you talking about, Willis?
So number one on the hit parade of my 8 questions is, you need to flush your brake fluid every spring. True or false? Number 2, you need to change your oil every 3,000 miles. True or false? You need to flush your transmission fluid every 30,000 miles. True or false? You need a tune-up every 50,000 miles. True or false?
Me or the car?
Remember, you're calling in 866-348-7884, 866-34-TRUTH. Here you go. Number 5, you need a front end alignment every 3 months. Or I'll go with a 4-wheel alignment if you want to use that one. Every 3 months you need that. 866-348-7884. You need to winterize your coolant system every fall. True or false? You need to rotate your tires every oil change. True or false? Call us. Those are the 8 questions. You could win that voucher, 866-348-7884. As we said, it would appear you have a 50-50 chance. But the scary thing, about all lies is there's usually some truth in there. So this isn't as easy as it may sound, but we're going to have some fun. You call us 866-348-7884. And since we have Bill Mixon here with us, I actually had a situation with our Jesus Labor of Love this week that just kind of broke my heart. And I had a dear friend at another situation that broke my heart right along the same issues of, wow, this is kind of a real simple insurance question I would have thought that people could answer. But clearly, a lot of people don't understand it because I'm serious. They lost thousands of dollars this week because they did not have a simple type of insurance that Bill and I are going to talk about coming up in the show. Then in our appraisal by the Real Black Book, Bob. That's where we search the Bible for hidden treasure, cry out for discernment, lift up our voice for understanding. Owner's manuals in prayer. There's a simple lesson I think we can glean on basic discipleship and prayer as it relates to how you use the owner manual for your car. And we're going to talk about that coming up in our last segment in our appraisal by the Real Black Book. As always, I want to tell you, you can find all this stuff at ChristianCarGuy.com. The Jesus Labor Love Car Repair Labor for single moms, widows, and families in crisis. And we certainly had all sorts of crises this week that we were blessed to be able to deal with. And, of course, there's a car show calendar there at the website. So if you want to know where there's a car show in your area, there's hundreds, literally, on our website at Christian Car Guy car show calendar. And then, of course, our podcast of all our previous shows and Christian Car Guy Theater, Jailhouse Justice Part 14. We just had it last week. All those are free and easy enough to check out. All right. We already have several callers lined up, which I'm very excited about this. Aren't you, Bill?
Yes, wonderful topic.
You're going to find out if you needed to change your brake fluid like they told you. We have Stephanie in our true or false question. Stephanie, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you calling from, Stephanie?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Wonderful, wonderful. Close by. So, which
Yes,
question did
I
you
love it.
feel led to hammer down on?
Well, I have to tell you, all of them resonate with me. I used to be really bad about, maintenance on my car until it was too late and the oil burned up. So the one about the 3,000 miles, changing the oil, I think that was the question.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a yes. You need to definitely do that by every 3,000 miles.
All right, Bob, you heard it from Stephanie.
Ding.
Ding. Well, the interesting thing about all is there's a critical
Partial ding.
It's a partial ding. We couldn't agree with you more that you got to change your oil.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But the intervals are different based on different cars, and they're different based on
Types
different
of oil.
different types of oil and different types of driving. So, like if you drive a taxi and you're downtown all the time, and you may need to change your oil more than every 3,000 miles. But if
That makes sense. And some can go to 5,000, I've heard, but I
Right.
wouldn't risk it.
but once you've been burned,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I lost a car that
Yeah.
way in college.
so where I fall on that is your owner's manual is this wonderful resource, and it will give you what kind of oil it recommends and also the intervals that it should be changed at. And some cars, in the case of General Motors cars, they actually have an indicator that tell you, wow, it's time to change your oil, and they're monitoring your oil system to see, how it's doing. So, yes.
Most of them, you just preset a mileage to kick out on a lot.
Well,
right?
it gives you an oil percentage.
it's
That one out
fancier than
there
mine.
does, and a couple of the rollbacks at the junkyard.
What were you saying, Stephanie?
I was going to say, if you go to a good professional, service place where they service cars, many times they'll send you a mailer. I get a mailer reminder when it's getting close to have my oil changed again, which is really, really nice.
Oh, I agree. And the other thing, my wife just flips out if they do not put her sticker in the window to tell her, to remind her what mileage that it needs to be put at. But
Absolutely.
there's something to consider in all that. And I'd much rather err on the side of getting it changed more often than not often enough.
Yes, sir.
However, I would say that most cars is really, if you check your owner's manual, you're going to find most cars are definitely fine at 5,000 miles. And one time I went to Volkswagen training school. They gave us a really important lesson I've never forgotten. They said the less you can have a mechanic touch your car, the better off you are. And they said that when they originally started making the Volkswagen Beetle, they put in the maintenance schedule to adjust the valves every 2,500 miles. And they were blowing engines on an average of like 60% of the Volkswagens in the country were blowing engines in the first 5,000 miles. You know why? because the mechanics were tightening the valves too much because they were adjusting them. So they just changed it to every 5,000 miles, and their warranty claims were cut by 90%. You know how they got them cut the other 10%? They didn't have them check the valves anymore. Because, again, if a mechanic is going to, I can't tell you how many times they've wrenched off oil filters, oil plugs, not saying that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
That was the other thing they did to me.
I'm not saying don't change your oil when it needs to be done. I'm definitely saying that and go by your owner's manual. But getting it done too often, is one of those things. So this is why we're having the discussion. Stephanie, you're so brave for calling in. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And we got so much more Christian Car Guy coming up. Jenny is in Raleigh, and we need you. 866-348-7884.
Take down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowded line. Break down, take down, you busted.
Maintenance lies today on the Christian Car Guy Show. You need to change the air in your tires. What you talking about, Willis? That's what we're talking about. So I have compiled, with the help of my two friends here, Bob, my trusty Christian junkyard guy, and Bill Mixon, our trusty insurance guy, we have compiled these 8 questions to give you a chance at true or false to see whether or not you need to have this kind of maintenance. Are these lies or are they truth? Are they true or are they false? Here you go. You need to flush your brake fluid every spring. True or false? You need to change your oil every 3,000 miles. True or false? You need to flush your transmission fluid every 30,000 miles. True or false?
Can't find that little handle you're supposed to push down.
You need a tune-up every 50,000 miles. True or false? You need a front-end alignment every 3 months. You need to winterize your coolant system every fall. You need to change your cabin air filter every spring. You need to rotate your tires every oil change. And we want you to call us with your answers. We're going to give away a VIP certificate. Go to any Red Roof Inn in America with no blackout dates or anything. You just present it when you stay, which my wife and I actually stayed at a Red Roof Inn when we were taking our daughter to college this week. It was really, really nice.
We've stayed there recently, and we were very pleased.
866-348-7884. What say you? 866-348-7884. We have Jenny is in Raleigh. Jenny, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Which question did you feel compelled to give us the answer to?
Okay, well, I feel like I'm cheating, but recently I went to the Take 5 oil change and spoke to the guy at length about my vehicle. I've got $251,000 on a 1998 Isuzu. So
that's a
he
ka-ching right there.
reminded me that transmission fluid needs to be changed every 30,000 miles. Is that right?
Well, once again, yes and no. It certainly is the case in many, many, many cars. And I'm going to guess what year. Did you say it was a Subaru?
No, it is an Isuzu Trooper. It's a 1998, and I just had the transmission replaced about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I would guess you when it comes to a 1998 or 9 Isuzu Troopers, which were awesome cars. And I would say you're probably right, but your owner's manual will tell you. And therein lies the issue.
Well, I remember having a vehicle one time that had over 150,000 miles on it, and the transmission people said it might cause more problems than it solved by putting it in, flushing it out.
Therein lies another issue, which, that's the neat thing about all these questions is there's all sorts of answers to them that if you didn't change your oil in your transmission when you were supposed to, then putting new, fresh transmission fluid in can mess the seals up and cause you to have a problem because you failed to do it on the interval time. But again, getting back to the premise of, I'm hoping that, people will look in their owner's manual and there it will tell you exactly, because nowadays...
You're supposed to keep that thing?
Yeah, nowadays, actually, a lot of the import cars have long life transmission fluid, and from what I understand, some of them are saying they're good for life. That it's no longer servicing the transmission because there's a filter in the transmission that we had back in the day, and we had transmission fluid. So things are changing. This is not a one size fits all issue, but I'm going to say you're right, Jenny, because on a 98 Isuzu Trooper, every 30,000 miles sounds like a winner to me.
Especially with
Right,
especially with it
I
being is it a new transmission or a used one?
Well, on an Isuzu Trooper, since they no longer are made,
Yeah.
it definitely is a used transmission, but it has a 100,000-mile warranty from AMCO. Not
Sounds
trying
like
to do any advertising,
remanufactured one.
right.
And,
but 100,000 miles is good.
Yes, ma'am. That's absolutely great warranty. And with it being a reman, I can say that it's probably a good idea to follow their instructions on this. If the ones that put it in, that's who I would consult because they're the ones warranting
Right.
the transmission. Easy for me to say, huh? But they're the ones doing it and standing behind it. So I would follow their specific instructions about fluid changes and not the guy that's wanting to sell you a fluid change. And I'd consult where you got it from just to make sure that you don't violate their warranty.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, Jenny. God bless you. I appreciate you
Thank
calling
you.
in
God
today.
bless you.
And I hope
yes,
you.
sir. I listen to you every weekend.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. It's
We-
good to have faithful
That's why that
followers
car's got
there,
so many
brother.
miles in it.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Good job. I love those troopers.
All right.
God bless. All right. We have questions that have yet to be questioned. Like, do you really need to flush your brake fluid every spring?
It might get copper or water in it.
There you go. 866-348-7884. You can win a VIB certificate if you're the lucky drawer winning at the end of the show. How about a tune-up every 50,000 miles? Somebody want to take that one on? Do you need a tune-up? How often do you need a tune-up? What do you think? 866-348-7884. There's a lot of questions here, Bill.
My wife tunes me up regular. I need it bad. The car doesn't get serviced. She's got to keep me straight.
Well, I'm going to just go back to the very first question here while we're waiting on more people who want to jump in because we got plenty of questions that they can't answer. And the question is, which is actually a very, very hot topic these days, and it used to be a no-brainer that I know very few people in mechanical circles that I worked in with domestic cars that would ever consider changing your brake fluid. But that is no longer the case.
Well, what confused me was he told me there was water in there, and it just happens. And then I went to research it. He assured me that because some little sticky head was purple, that there was absolutely no doubt we needed to rebuild the car from the bottom up. But everything I read said that those tests don't do a daggum thing finding out whether you've got water in them or not.
Well, again, we know that in Bill's case, he has a Jeep. And so that Jeep has an owner's manual. And if you could search that owner's manual on that Jeep from front to back, and you won't find anything about changing your brake fluid in there. But we will have more discussion on brake fluid and maybe have an opinion. But we have these answers, true or false. 866-348-7884. 866-34-TRUTH. So much more coming up.
What you talking about, Willis?
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 Maintenance Live today on the Christian Car Guy Show. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
You need to change the air in those tires. They're looking... Yeah, that's what you're talking about, Willis. We are asking these maintenance questions today. Are they true or false? When they tell you, oh, wow, it looks like you need to, flush your brake fluid. It looks like you need to totally flush your coolant system. And those kind of things, are they true or are they false? Inquiring minds want to know what is the truth. We have Chris is in Iowa. Chris is wanting to take on these questions. Again, if you call in, All you have to do is call in, and we'll register you for the VIP trip we're going to give away. It's not a trip. It's an overnight stay at any Red Roof Inn in America. And Chris, in Iowa, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. How are you?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just got through changing the air in my tires, so I thought I'd give you a call.
Oh, man.
Better safe than sorry, Chris.
You feel better about your ride now?
Did you swap the air between the tires or just put in brand new fresh?
So which of our many questions would you like to take on there, Chris?
Well, I'm going to let you choose.
All right. You need a tune-up every 50,000 miles, true or false?
Well, I would say check the owner's manual, but outside of that, most of the vehicles I'm buying are extended farther and farther out. I don't own a car that needs one every 50,000 miles.
Ding.
Boy, he's good.
That's good. It sounds like you're a Christian Car Guy listener. You probably know a lot more than I do. But nonetheless, that's a great point. In fact, the word tune-up is kind of obsolete from my point of view. And
yeah, because so many of the parts that used to require the tune-up are no longer in there. There's no points.
Right. For us old school people, a tune-up meant points, condenser, spark plugs, air filter, that was
possibly wires.
Right. And sometimes a fuel filter back in the day. What we're talking about in the 60s or the early 70s when, ignition systems were like that. But nowadays, high energy and some spark plugs will go 150,000 miles, right? So, Chris, when you think of a tune-up, what do you think of?
Well, and that's the thing. I don't really think of a tune-up as such because you're doing individual things. You got coil packs and everything. So it just depends what you have. I've had plugs go 100,000 miles, and I'm driving a vehicle right now with 168,000 on it that I've never done the coil packs on, which I know is probably, and it's my work vehicle, so it's kind of like I'll wait till it goes on that thing. But so I guess it just depends what it is because I don't think of an overall tune-up anymore. Kind of like what you're saying, it just depends which part of the consumables, if you will, need it. So.
Right, exactly. And it's actually a bit of a frustration is when I get Jesus Labor Love. These are car repair requests for single moms, widows, and families in crisis. And it's not unusual at all for them to just be, I need a tune-up. The problem with my car is I need a tune-up. And they've been, I guess, brainwashed, for lack of a better word, into this concept that a car needs a tune-up every so often. And, is your check engine light on? Is there something, that's actually wrong with it, which is really, really helpful, I think, for all people that are bringing their cars in for maintenance, is tell them what the car is actually doing that's causing you to be concerned. Is it missing? Is it vibrating? Is it shaking? Is it using a bunch of gas? What is it that is actually causing the concern, right, Chris?
You also mentioned the check engine light. That could be a myriad of things anymore. For instance, in my vehicle I have right now that I'm driving, it comes on every now and then. It's because my fuel sending unit's bad. So it's not that I need to tune up or anything major. And frankly, I'm only going to have the vehicle another year or two. It's not worth changing. I just check my odometer, make sure I fill up before I run out. So, there again, there's all sorts of things that can trigger your check engine light. And obviously you need to have it checked, but there again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a big deal.
So the truth isn't so easy to get to, right? But I appreciate you calling in and answering our questions today. God bless.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Chris. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Chris was pretty unknowledgeable there, I can tell.
Yes, he would not fall for the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, and I don't mean to, some people have now decided that a tune-up means something else, and I don't want to take away your terminology. I mean, if you decide that it is that, and you can communicate that, but if you look into, I don't know of a single owner's manual I've ever looked at since the 60s that said you need a tune-up at a certain mileage interval, because that isn't part of what normal maintenance is anymore. And it's good kind of adopt the technology and the verbiage of today if you have a today's car. But if you own a 69 Camaro, that it needs a tune-up, because it still has points and condensers, and all those things come with it.
Exactly. There's just so many things that, well, I used to have preconceived ideas from the old days and listening to my dad, and this car needs this, then, now, and this later. And I was so convinced that if I took and got new plugs and wires in my vehicle I was driving at that time, that it was going to be like a new one. It was going to have more power, and it was going to be it was going to change dramatically, and it changed nothing except my the level of my wallet, and it's just things have changed, and there's so many different things, and some of our preconceived ideas no longer apply.
And speaking of preconceived ideas, I did want to, while you're calling in at 866-348, I know you want to win that overnight stay. It's awesome. At the Red Roof Inn, 866-348-7884, 866-34-TRUTH. I wanted to get into this insurance since I had Bill here with me today, and it kind of broke my heart on a couple issues.
I didn't mean to, Robbie.
You didn't break my heart. It was a Jesus Labor Love situation, and I had this application come in, and this situation was that somebody had totally I'm trying to think of the word, abused her car, vandalized her car. They had taken a hammer or something to the windshield, broken it all up, dent of the fenders, all these different things. And she couldn't even pass state inspection to be able to go to work because she, her windshield was broken. And that was actually, really grateful to those who were donating to the Jesus Labor Love, because without that, this lady wouldn't be going to work, because SafeLight or whoever it was that came out this week and did her, was done through the donations of Jesus Labor Love. But my first question to her was, I know you don't have collision insurance because it was an older car, but do you have comprehensive? And she really did not understand at all what I was talking about. And Bill, it just kind of broke my heart, because I know that comprehensive, I understand somebody not carrying collision on an older car, but comprehensive is another story, right?
Well, we've gotten into this world where an awful lot of people make a 1-800 call and they say, I'm paying this amount per month. And the whole discussion is on how to get under whatever amount you've been paying without a discussion on all the different options that are available. Comprehensive can be $5 a month. It can be $50 a month. It's generally, for an average car, about 10% of what the collision insurance would be. Then there's some cars that get stolen a lot. So those are considerably more. But it's one of those things that we always make sure that we tell people this is what it costs, and these are the
and a perfect example for me is Old Red, which Bill, is my 1995 Dodge Dakota. I'm obviously not going to carry collision insurance on it at this point. However, I do carry comprehensive, and it's paid off on tree branches that fall on.
Let me go over some of the things. It covers fire, theft, vandalism, a tree falling on it, tornado, hail, glass breakage, running into an animal, and even flood, which is a big one in a lot of areas. Flood's covered under comprehensive coverage. And then in some states, that's expanded. So in some states, it's an all-inclusive. It's got to be one of those things. And in some states, it's all except. But in some states, even acid rain's covered. Some paint problems are covered. I've known a case where a gas can turned over. You have a gas can turn over in your car, you got a much bigger problem than you think. So comprehensive can expand from those things that I listed to a whole lot of other items too.
And it's not, for Old Red, my comprehensive, if I'm not mistaken, it's like $20 a month.
I bet it's probably less than that.
Yeah, I know it's not a lot. And then I had a dear relative that had stayed over at a friend's, or they were looking at buying a trailer, and they'd parked their car over there that night along with their son, who also had a car, and they couldn't sleep in the middle of the night. So God literally saved them, because a dam broke overnight, and they had taken the son's car but left his car there. Well, he lost his car because he didn't have comprehensive insurance. Had he had comprehensive insurance, $15, $20 a month, whatever it was, he would still have a car.
Wow.
But he had his life, which is obviously, critical. But I just wanted to bring that out today a little bit as we're talking about some of these maintenance lies. You got plenty of time to call in, 866-34-TRUTH.
But the voice of truth tells me a different story. The voice of truth says do not be afraid. And the voice of truth.
And we are talking maintenance lies today on the Christian Car Guy Show. Sometimes it's kind of hard to discern what is the truth and what is a lie when people come up and say, well, your car needs this and this and this and this. And so we've thrown some of these out here, and the one I meant to finish in heaven is you need to flush your brake fluid every spring, true or false. But before we do that, we have Diane is in Belmont, North Carolina. Diane, you're on the Christian Car Guy Show. Good morning. Which one did you want to try?
Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good. I drive a 97 Tahoe.
Wow.
4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
I'm concerned about, I do have the oil changed and the tires rotated every 3,000 miles. So I was questioning if that was the truth. That was true.
That's a good thing to do. That's a good thing to do. And I would say, how many miles do you drive? I mean, do you drive a lot during the week? Do you drive 1,000 miles? Do you just drive once or twice? How much do you drive?
I live 1 mile from my work, so I don't drive a whole lot. It's got 174.
That is awesome. Well, here's some of the concerns, and if you look in the owner's manual, which is what I really recommend you do above anything Robbie says, because it's kind of like the Bible is an authority over, us, because God made us, and so He has the right to make the instruction manual, and so Chevy has one too, and Chevy will give you very specific instructions. But if I'm not mistaken, that what they consider to be high maintenance cars, they do recommend you change your oil at 3,000 miles. And when you don't get your car really hot, like when you drive to work and you get there in a mile, your car never really heats up. And when that happens, the spent fuel and all gets built up in the oil because it doesn't get hot enough to burn the fuel and carbon out of the oil. And so it's actually driving those few miles is really hard on a car if you don't change the oil pretty frequently. And so in your case,
the 3,000 miles sounds like right on for her.
On the oil.
On the oil, yes, sir.
On the tires, that one, again, is there a lot of potholes or stuff like that where you drive?
No, there was, but finally they fixed the road. Now I do once or twice a week drive. Golly, I don't know how many miles it is. To South Carolina. Takes me about 35 minutes.
That is really good for your car.
That's getting my car heated up.
Yeah, there you go. Your car is thanking you for that one. Whenever you make that trip. But again, we want to err on the side of safe. And so you want to look at how you drive specifically. And what I would do is talk to the person that's actually rotating the tires and say, do you think these need to be rotated? Because when you look at tires, you can kind of see, wow, these on the front need to be on the back and those kind of things. So I don't hold to the rotate the tires every 3,000 miles, but certainly tires do need to be rotated. But it starts to begin to look at the wear and go from there, Bob.
I agree with that. And I had a situation one time where I had a relatively good set of tires on, and I had stuck something somehow at the junkyard. Something got stuck in the tire, and I had to plug the tire. But a plugged tire is acceptable, in my opinion, on the back, but you don't want a plugged tire in the front. So I was, could never rotate that set of tires again. And it's something I faced, more than once, because occasionally a piece of metal will get in your tire at the junkyard. It's just something that happens, but it just prevented me from being able to rotate. But I don't think there's anything wrong with, you can't over-rotate them or anything, but if you're getting charged for it, you might could get by with with less than that.
Right. So you have the issue of what you're getting charged, but again, every time somebody touches your car, they can not tighten the wheel back properly. There's a lot of chances for error and human error when you're doing something that doesn't necessarily be done. So I'd be careful is all I'm saying there, Diane. God bless you. Thank you for calling in today.
I want to ask another question.
Oh, go quick.
Okay, it's a 97. Shocks never been changed on this car. But it still rides fine.
Right.
Then don't change them. I made that mistake. I determined I myself had put too much air in the back tires, and it started riding rough, and I thought it was the struts, and I went ahead and had it changed, and just wasted money. If it's riding good, you don't need to change that.
And the other thing is, if somebody can check
don't
those.
Fix it.
Yeah, don't fix it. But you can push down on the fender real hard and see if it starts to wobble. There's a way to check shocks pretty easy, and it'd probably be a good idea to have somebody check them. But I would not replace them.
I will do that when I take it in. And I always tell them to check my fluids. Do cars need greasing?
Not mostly probably not a 97 Tahoe. But again, check your owner's manual. So there you go.
That's what I do. Get out my owner's manual.
There you go. Thank you, Diane. God bless.
Well, you have been very helpful.
Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad. God bless you. Yeah. All right. Well, Jasper, while you're getting ready to do that drawing for all these folks that called in, I do have to take do you need a brake fluid change every spring? And the answer there, again, is you check your owner's manual, because if you happen to be driving a smart car in the owner's manual tells you to change your brake fluid every 20,000 miles. So if you drive 20,000 miles a year and you're driving a smart car, you need to change it every spring. It's kind of scary. But if you're driving a Chrysler product like Bill, it doesn't mention it anywhere. And so you can kind of rely on that. And, of course, I've never changed brake fluid in a car in my life. Have you, Bob?
No, sir.
Not a car I personally own.
I've had a little.
But I'm told that a lot of the imports nowadays,
you might have had a lot of copper and water in
Jaguar.
Didn't even know it.
But I did want to get to, let's do the drawing real quick, Jasper, so we can see who won. I know a lot of people are anxious. Oh, he's got it shaking. All right. There you go. This is real life. I wish the Facebook camera could see Jasper's working hard to make this fair. So, Jasper, who won?
The winner is Jenny Metzger.
Jenny, all right. Congratulations. You've got a VIP certificate coming your way, and we're looking forward to that. But very important on this owner's manual question, that when you go to find out, I want to find out if I'm using the right coolant or antifreeze. And nowadays, cars don't all use the same coolant by no means. And this is one of the places that's critical. You go to our owner's manual. What coolant do I use? What brake fluid do I use? They're different. Which oil should I use? What transmission fluid should I use? They're all different. But when you
They're not interchangeable?
No. And when you go to your owner's manual, you're looking for something very specific. You have a question. Well, you may know that the Great Commission is, go ye therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy. You may know that. But do you know that disciple means enthusiastic learner? And learners need to have a question, right? That in order to learn something, you have to admit you don't know it. And if you don't know it, then you have a question. And one of the things that I really enjoy about being a disciple is I begin to read the Word. I'm looking for the question. What is it that I don't understand? Where do I need to check the owner's manual? You see, the application is that you've got this question. Yeah, you can go talk to somebody who's knowledgeable about the Bible, just like you go talk to that knowledgeable mechanic. But if the owner's manual says different, there's your authority. That's what I can rely on. There's the truth. I don't have to wonder where the truth and the lie is if I've got the scripture, right, that's backing up where we're going. So, wow, how fun was this show? Thank you guys for being here. My good friend
Wonderful
Bob.
call-ins.
Great to be here today. Do want to say happy birthday to my son, Rob. It just meant a lot to be here today on his birthday.
Yeah, I know that's hard, Bob.
It's not. We're going to celebrate the day he was born. We'll mourn the day he died. And
remember, slow down. Jesus walked everywhere he went, got it all done in 33 years.